And good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. We're on first recess, which now is Aussie and Daisy. And Daisy is in my way while I'm trying to wash food bowls. Nope, not in there. I'm trying to wash water bowls, I mean. That's all the icky stuff that came out of the water bowls today. Come on over here. Go ahead. So Daisy needs a bath, apparently. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yep, up on my shoulder, huh? Thanks. Where'd you go? Daisy, what are you doing? What are you doing over here? Come here, little one. Huh? Where are you going? Hi. There's Aussie. Hi, Aussie. Hi, baby. So again, good morning, everybody. Somebody posted up yesterday asking if I would do an open house type thing for a cage to show you what we do with our cages. I think I've done this before, but it has been a while. So let's go ahead and go over what is in Aussie and Daisy's currently new cage. Once Bimble gets here, there's going to be some moving people or moving birds around. Ultimately, we're hoping to get Bimble's a female and Aussie's female. I'm hoping the two of them will get along. If not, we'll mix and match and see who gets along with who. Everybody gets a big cage area, but let's go over the cage and what I did yesterday. Again, this is a Natural Inspirations double cage. It's 1/2-inch bar space, so it's safe for Caique. When I was talking to Carrie, the owner at Natural Inspirations, they actually have a larger cage than this now in 1/2-inch bar spacing. So if you want the biggest cage you can get, this is no longer it. They have a 40 by 80, so it's 40 feet deep, where this is 32 inches deep, by 80 inches long. This is 64 inches long, so it's actually an inch or a foot, almost more than a foot and a half longer than this. And we just can't physically fit them, or I would get them. Because if I could put bigger cages in here, well, everybody pretty knows me, I would. But they would stick out that far, and I'd have no room in here. Anyway, so this is a 64 by 32 by 76 inch high. It's a double macaw cage. The reason they call it a double cage because it has a dividing area. We put dividers in them, or can. BB2 and Pogo's has a divider in it because Pogo's been over plucking. So this is a dividable cage. So technically it's two very large cage areas in one massive cage. So let's go over what I do here. Typically, first of all, most important is light. You need to have good lighting. So we use M&M cage lighting. You can see how bright they are. They actually dim my camera because this is a light silver cage or light gray cage, and it gets dark every time I get into the lights because the lighting is so bright in here. That's what you want though. So if you look down towards the bottom of the cage, you can see how much lighting is down there. So M&M cage lights, we put 4 of them on here, on each of these big cages. So there's two 24-inch lights per section. So that's two 24-inch lights. And then on this cage, you'll actually see a 5th light back there. And that's aiming up to the ceiling. And what that is, that's part of our sunrise sunset timer system. The way our lighting works in this bird room is all of these big lights, the main lights turn on arbitrarily at 8:15 in the morning. At 8 in the morning, and these are arbitrary numbers because I don't remember the actual times. So at 8 in the morning, that little light there, and another one that's on top of this cage over here. There's another one up here that faces the ceiling. Where is it? Oh, it's over there. It's between the cages. So we have a cage here, faces the ceiling, and we have one on there that faces the ceiling, and one on Scooby's cage that faces the ceiling. There. And there's another one over there somewhere. I think it's over top of that one. Anyway, what those do is they're attached to what's called a sunrise timer, or a sunrise sunset timer. And they go from off to full on over a gradual period of about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, like sunrise. So in the morning, it's dark in here. The sunrise timers turn on, and those 4 lights start to illuminate our room just a little bit from dark to light to light to light until it's relatively bright in here because it's 4 of those 24-inch long LEDs. It's not this bright, but it's bright. After those turn on fully, so about 8:15, the main bird room lights turn on. And 5 minutes after that, the cage lights turn on. At night, it works a bit backwards. The cage lights turn off, then the main room lights turn off, and then those 4 24-inch lights fade out. And the reason we do that here is because the room doesn't have windows outside. All of our lighting is basically controlled inside, and we don't want it to go from pure black to really bright, or from really bright to pure dark at night. Now, it's never pure dark in here because we do use night lights. You can see on there a little blue one down there. We've got those on every wall, as well as the light that comes in from our door. Those lights are always on out there. So it's never completely dark in here. Can you get down a minute? Nope, not okay. So it's never completely dark in here. Anyway, so that's our lighting. So the number one thing to do with your cage is make sure you got good lighting in it. Second thing you need is perches. You need really good perches. They come with a dowel perch, 2 of them, 1 for each side. And these are not bad perches. We have a big write-up on our website about perches. Dowel perches are not bad at all. There's nothing wrong with them. The only thing that's bad with them is you don't want to only have dowel perches. So what you want to do is you want to have natural wood perches, and they're all different shapes and sizes. Some of these are different colors because these are sandblasted, and that's the natural bark that's on that wood. That's manzanita wood. And you'll see we have natural perches all over the place. So the cages get, I don't know, a dozen natural perches on each, per cage easily. The reason you don't want just dowels is because the size is too consistent. Birds' feet need to be able to grip things of different sizes so that they can continue basically to work out. There aren't muscles in birds' feet. So that's all tendons that are acted on from the muscles in the legs that make the claws close. So you want to have different sizes and shapes of wood. Basically, same thing we have in nature. We try to replicate as much as what we can what they would find in nature. So lights is number 1. Perches is number 2. Now, toys are number 3. You got to have good toys. So you have shreddable toys, these things they can pull apart and just dig into. You have chipper toys, we call them, which are basically pine wood blocks or of different colors, different shapes, different sizes. We buy parrot toys online. Now, the chipper blocks are made by Melissa at Zorro's Pets. So that's where we buy tons of those, or we get them as gifts also. All of our other toys, for the most part, we buy. Our favorite line of toys are called Javawood A&E, and they are from My Bird Store online. Basically, it's A&E Cages. That's their line of toys. And I'm very particular to not get toys. You'll see that there's no rope. This is natural sisal fiber that's holding this toy together. Same thing with this. These are sisal fibers. They can easily be chewed up, and if they get chewed up little pieces, they can be digested. All of the other stuff on here, I make sure we don't get anything that I personally consider unsafe. So I don't use toys that have rope in them in the cages. You'll see we have a boing, and I discussed this the other day. There's a rope boing, but that's covered in vet wrap in their cage, and if that starts to shred, if they start to chew that up, I take that out immediately. Egg cartons, clean egg cartons, not ones that are all schmeggy. Clean egg cartons, little cardboard strips, things with wood, things with shells, things with leather. Basically, get yourself lots of toys. They need to be busy. We give our parrots a large space to be in because they're in the cages most of the day. Even with all of our recesses, I just can't have them out all day. So lots of toys, lots of activities, different toys, shredders, chewers, things to play with. You see things with rubber duckies on them, they'll chew those up. So again, number 1, lights. Number 2, perches. Number 3, toys, activities, enrichment. You got to make sure they have an enriching time in their cage. These plastic chains are brilliant. I buy them in rolls of 100 feet on eBay, and we use plastic chain all over the place. This is what's called a 2-inch chain. It's 2 inches between the links, or if the links are 2 inches long, you can get the 2.5 or 3-inch long chain. You can get a narrower chain. Basically, it's, again, something for them to climb on. It's enrichment. Give them lots of stuff to do. So all the stuff that they do out here when they're on recess, I try and replicate that in a smaller quantity in their cages. So they get lots of choice. Okay, the next thing is sleeping places. I've had lots of people ask, what do you guys do when they mate, when they breed, when they have eggs? In all these years we've been with Caiques in existence, we've never had an egg. It's not because I do anything special or anything magical. We just don't provide them a place for nesting. Okay, birds want a dark, small area to get into a nest. So nest boxes, a no-no. Unless you're planning on breeding, which we don't advocate, you don't want a nest box. What we do provide are these cardboard tubes. And I've been asked several times about these cardboard tubes. That's a 3-inch diameter cardboard shipping tube. I buy them literally by the case on Amazon because they'll chew them up. In some of these cages, these tubes, well, like this. This is what they look like after a couple days or a couple weeks, depending on the cage. They shred these things right up. So that's another shredding toy that's a great sleeping place. At night in this room, Scooby sleeps in a cardboard tube. Mango and Penny sleep in a cardboard tube. Sunny sometimes does. You can see where they're chewing through it. Marley and Nigel sleep in a cardboard tube. Eddie and Ricky sleep in a cardboard tube. Gilly and Kyle sleep in a cardboard tube. The only parrots we have that don't sleep in the cardboard tubes are BB, Tukey, and Pogo. They are perch sleepers. They have cardboard tube in there. They have other places to sleep, but they prefer to sleep on perches. And so far, Aussie and Daisy have not been sleeping in a cardboard tube. That's literally brand new. So, a place to sleep. So you want to give them perches or small dark places to sleep. Those tubes they won't breed in because they're too small to sleep in. They can basically get one bird in, you get another bird in behind. They really can't breed, so it's too small an area. The other things we provide, which are great sleeping places, Scooby uses on occasion in his cage. They're also great shredding toys. Are these are called Timothy Hay huts. That's what that's called. And I can't think of the company that makes them offhand. We provide those huts also. So all of our cages have multiple places to sleep. We got seagrass tubes, Timothy Hay huts, perches, cardboard tubes, and you'll see them in all of the cages have at least 1 or 2 different, or 3 or 4 different places that they can sleep. So the parrots now, they'll chew these up. This is what happens to the seagrass bungalows, they call them. That's what happens when they had them for a while. Same thing here. They'll just chew them right up. So those Timothy Hay bungalows make great sleeping places. They also make great shredder toys. Aside from that, you have to have water. So we have water bowls. Each side has a water bowl. They give you 2 places, but we only put 1 water bowl in on each side. So there's a minimum of 1 water bowl per parrot in each cage, except for this one. There's 3 birds in here and 2 water bowls. We also use water bottles. Now these are lab bottles I buy online from US Plastics, and they use the water little drip spouts that you get from the glass Lixit bottles. I just don't use the glass bottles anymore because if these get knocked off, the spring gets broken or they eat the tie wrap, bottle falls, breaks on our floor and makes a big, huge, disastrous mess. So we give them water bowls and water bottles. The reason we use both is everybody knows how bad this water can get. They've had this water, they've been asleep for 3 hours, it's getting kind of dirty. Not too bad. Actually, the worst water bowls in here are always Marley and Nigel. So that's their water bowl after 3 hours. Hi, Nigel. Hi, buddy. The reason we give them water bowls and water bottles is so that when they get that all mucked up, or they drain that out, splashing it out, having a bath, which we all know as Caique owners, they love to bathe in their water bowls. Offering them a water bottle in addition, not in replacement, in addition to the water bowl means that there is always fresh, clean water available to drink. So even if they get that mucked up or it gets all splashed out before I change it again today, they still have fresh, clean water. Every cage has a minimum of 1 water bowl per bird. Same thing. You see water bottles on every single cage. Hey. I'm trying to do something here. Go stand over there. Oh, careful, little one. Here, why don't you go over here instead? There, good boy, Aussie. All right, so that's water bowls. So we've covered lighting, number 1, perches, number 2, toys, number 3. Places to sleep. If you want to offer something special other than perches, Caiques will happily sleep on perches all day long. We give ours cardboard tubes, Timothy hay bungalows that you see in there. Water is important in the cage. Water is the most important thing in the cage because they can't get out and get it themselves. But these are the things that are in our cage. Last but not least is food. Obviously, you need to leave food. We keep food available 24/7 in their rooms. And we use these. These are color day. These are actually bird baths that we buy. We bought them in every cage. We got tons of this stuff because, well, we have a lot of cages. And we put the food in these. These are enclosed completely around except for this hole in the front. So that keeps the water from getting splashed from the water bowls. So if they go having a bath in here, it's not going to muck up the food, make the food moldy or anything like that. And we change those out once a week. Now we add to them every day or 2 or 3, depending on how much they're eating. And you'll see that there's food in there. You'll also see a lot of toys. I always put a ton of foot toys in their food bins. So if you look on both sides here, and it's basically anything. Seashells, wooden blocks, plastic bottle caps that have been cleaned, little piece of cardboard, any foot toys that you get. We take a ton of foot toys and put them in there. It helps offer a bit of a foraging opportunity. It's not a lot, but for them to look for the food that they want, and they will. They'll pick through and decide what they want. They might want the Supreme Color pellets one day. They might want the Caique pellets the next day. They might be eating the Harrison's next day, and you can tell what they're eating by what's on the bottom. So that's almost all Harrison's bits over there. There's a couple Caique bits. So there's a Caique bit there. There's some Supreme stuff down here. That tells you what your bird's eating is what you're watching, what falls on the bottom. And that gives you a good idea of what it is they're consuming and how much. So food bins are a must. Yeah, here's a couple of the Harrisons. All the parrots love the Harrisons. That's what we're switching to slowly. So food bins. I think that pretty much covers everything. We have cameras on our cages. This is a camera that actually looks out here so I can monitor the right side of the bird room from a distance when I'm doing things remotely. Austin Daisy's cage actually has this 360-degree rotating camera, so I can look down this way in the cage. I can turn around and look this way, and because this rotates, I can actually do this. And I can use their camera to check all around the bird room. All of the cages have cameras. BB Tukey and Pogo's has a camera. Hey. No. Oh, come on, step up. Thank you. Why don't you go in your cage for a bit? Daisy, come here. Come here, baby. Let's put you in your room, chill. Thank you. Just to give a quick relative size, that's the size of a Caique or 2 in that cage. This is the size of the cage. I love these cages for Caiques. They have enough room they can actually fly a bit. You know, they're not full flight. They're not outside flying miles, but they can fly around in this cage. It's more than plenty of space. Anyway, back to the cameras. We have cameras all over there in the room because I'm not always available. So we have, I can be able to check in them remotely. There's a camera back there and a camera there. Okay. Last question about the cages that I'm going to answer is somebody asked, I've been asked before, somebody asked yesterday, why do we only put stuff about halfway up? Real simple. Poop falls, food falls, water falls when they splash it around. So anything basically you put from the halfway line down, you're going to spend all of your time scrubbing and cleaning it, and it's never going to get used because it's going to be covered in poop and stuff. Also, parrots in general like to be at the top of their tree or their forest, and that's essentially what we've got here. This is their home, this is their environment, and they try to stay at the top. In the wild, yes, Caiques will bathe on wet leaves and stuff on the ground, but they are canopy birds. Almost all parrots are. So we keep all of our toys and our environment and our enrichment at the upper part of the canopy. And it's really simple why we do that. It's more natural for them, and again, it's less to clean. Everything you put down here, and these cage papers are a mess because they have been in there for 3 days. Everything below here gets dirty. So anything from halfway down essentially becomes a disastrous mess. And as you get higher, I got to clean that perch today. You can see that's covered in poop because by the food bowl. And that ladder over there has to be cleaned because it's covered in poop. The higher you get, the cleaner the items get. Because, well, poop, water, food, everything else falls down. So, I hope you can hear me. I hope that answers your question about cages. If you have anything specific, as always, never hesitate to reach out and ask a question. We will be back with recesses a little bit. Aussie and Daisy have already been out. I've got to work on some others, and I've got a lot of cages to clean because look at the messes that they made in here in 2 days. A lot of cage papers to change. Hi, Spiky Bird. Hello, baby. I've got work to do. We'll be back in a little bit.